Something here about the zero VOC paints. This happens to be a decent zero VOC paint from Vista Paint. Um, a lot of people request the zero VOC because they don't want to hurt the environment, and I don't think anybody, there's a few people out there that don't care about the environment, that, rolling coal guys and all that crap, that, just want to mess up things for everybody, but of course I do. But I just want to tell you guys about the potential misconceptions about zero VOC paints. And a lot of times people think, oh, I want the zero one, give me the zero paint. I just want you to know what you're getting into when you have this. For interior, it can be a good way to go because it doesn't have UV protector. The zero VOCs do not have as good a your UV protector on them. So in most cases, this is an interior exterior, but I mainly use it on the interior because on the exterior it doesn't last as long. So this is one of the things I want to tell you guys about. A lot of times you're trying to save the environment, and you're really, and the EPA and how that they do it is basically the wrong way. Because what's happening is the EPA says, hey, look, this one puts out less emissions, but they don't do the total footprint. Now, let me talk about what that is. So from the manufacturing to all the way to the application to how long it lasts and how much longer it would last if you used a non-zero VOC paint, and which would be better for the environment in the long run. See, if the EPA did their job right, okay, they would be going after the total footprint. In other words, if you looked at a car and you said, okay, the electric car takes more emissions to create because of the battery, and the battery, just harvesting the lithium from the ground is very, very harmful to the environment. It takes a lot of tractors, a lot of moving dirt, and that creates emissions. So you can't use an electric tractor, guys. Okay, they just don't have enough power. All right, and they would run out of juice way too fast. So you have to run diesel for those. And but if you look at the total footprint of things from the manufacturing point all the way to the time when you have to demolition, whatever it is, that's how emissions should be calculated. It shouldn't be calculated by what this product puts out, because this one's a zero VOC, but how much more emissions did it create to make this paint? Maybe the chemicals that it takes to make this are more harmful for the environment. Possibly, okay, and it has to be painted more often. So you think, well, that's no big deal. That's just work. No, that's a truck that has to drive over to your house, back and forth to go paint your house again. So let's say, the VOCs for the regular paints are only 50 parts per million. So that's very, very, very little. That's nothing almost, okay? And the zero VOCs are zero. So you're not really saving that much. I'm just letting you know, you're really not saving much. You're not doing much difference in the environment if you go with a regular house paint, especially on the exterior of your home. And you're looking at a couple of years longer life. So if you figure the longer life, along with less trucks, less people working, every time somebody leaves their house, there's emissions for that. Every time a painter gets in his truck and goes to work, there's emissions created. Every time there's anything, you go to the paint store and have them remake it, the manufacturing emissions for making the paint, all those things all have emissions. So you're creating emissions. So in a lot of cases, in a lot of cases, guys, you're making more emissions by going a zero. Okay, so I want you to think about that when you're going to do your painting on your house. So on your interior, a zero VOC can be a good way to go. But I'm going to tell you what the things are that fail in the short run of zero VOC paints on the interior. On the interior, typically they don't have as quite a hard a shell as the non-zero VOC. So on your doors, on your cabinets, on your potentially on your walls, depending on your traffic areas and how much they get touched. The fingerprinting can not wash off as easily, so it requires to get repainted more often, even on the interior. Now, if you're the kind of person who nobody in your house touches your walls, and you're the kind of person who touches your door handles only and never touches the door, and that sort of thing, then this would be the way to go, because you're not going to put oils onto those doors and onto your walls. But if you're the kind of person who has a lot of kids and they're touching everything, I would recommend steering away from zero VOC and going to a higher grade product, because it would actually benefit you, benefit the environment in the long run, because the paint's going to last longer, it's going to wash off easier. That is, if you're washing your walls and your doors. If you're the kind of person who doesn't wash your walls and your doors and you just repaint, then might as well go to zero. So just kind of giving you guys the idea. Use your own engineering ideas involved with this, so that you can save the environment if that's what you want to do, and do it the right way. And don't be afraid to use a product that has a less than zero VOC, because it might be a better product for the job. If it's better for the job, it probably will benefit the environment in the long run. So anyway, just a little heads up about zero VOC products and when to use them and when not to use them. So anyway, I hope that helps you make a decision. If you're in Southern California, Vista has one of the best products out there, not just for zero VOCs, but pretty much for everything. If you're worried about your paint sticking to something, you buy Vista. The color retention for Nine Edwards may be a little bit longer, but it's not really that much enough to make a difference. So anyway, I will talk to you on the next video.